What's up, guys? How's it going? Before we even really get going on this video, I have a feeling that this is going to be kind of another controversial knife video I make. I made one with Benchmade, and that I shouldn't say controversial. There are some videos I make, and I kind of don't look forward to making them just because usually when you put your opinion out there about certain things, some of the opinions are obviously strongly mattered, right? So this opinion is more safety oriented, so that's why I'm not looking forward to this, but that's besides the point, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this because I have to obviously make my opinion about this, and I'll explain more in a second here, but wasn't looking forward to making this video because of this. Cool knife, but I understand the purpose behind it. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this video. But I feel like it needs to be said and done just because of this is a cool product. This is a cool knife. I understand the demographic and the region of what it was made for, why it was made for. But I also it's just, yeah, I don't know. It just really bothers me from a safety perspective. So anyway, we'll get into it here. So, alrighty, as I was saying, sorry, I had to pause the video for a second there. So this is Kizer's mini bay folder. So you're probably thinking, okay, well, that seems pretty straightforward. This knife was designed with the laws of the United Kingdom in mind, I believe. So, first and foremost, it is very well packaged, I will say. I really enjoy this case. I wish more Kizer products were, designed and put into a case like this. I think this presentation is very nice, very appealing. That's just my opinion. So let's get the knife out. Also, fun fact, I managed to cut myself on this knife while filming a separate video. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but yeah, I cut my cuticle. Yeah, jacked my shit up. Anyway, so that has nothing to do with basically the way this knife is designed or anything. It's just what happened. So now I'm just gonna have a really ugly cuticle probably. Okay, so I tend to talk really fast, and I don't take a breath, so that's why I sound like I'm out of breath. Anyway, all right, so this is the mini bay. In order to make this knife legal for the United Kingdom, I believe the law was enacted in 1988, and this knife, so folding knives, I'm sure if anybody from the UK is watching this, they can correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. Folding knives cannot have a full lockout. To explain, so this is a liner lock with a detent ball, but if you press hard enough on the top of the blade, it will unlock. I will say it's a cool knife. I really enjoy the design of it. I love the fact that it's a flipper tab. I love the design in general. I really do. If this was a button lock, this thing would be so fucking sick. It is 154 cm. I think this knife retails for like $75, 75 or 80 bucks, something like that. To get 154 cm under $100 is just craziness. And also the fact that it's in this little package is just, I don't know, it's just really cute, really cool. I think it's very clever, very well done. There's really nice jimping on it. The jimping is relatively aggressive, I would say. Obviously there's a choil here where you can choke up on the blade. You can definitely hold that while you're cutting things, but I really do not like the fact that you can unlock the blade with a bit of pressure. Granted, it does take quite a bit of pressure to unlock the blade, but it's still... I don't know why they think that a blade that fully doesn't lock out is safer. I can understand the reasoning behind it from, like, if we say we start to theory craft, right? If you're gonna do harm to somebody, right, and you're going to try and penetrate somebody with this, if you're say you're jabbing somebody with this, and the point of this hits their body, hits their clothing, right? You know, hits someone's jacket. Obviously, it's going to depress the blade and cause the blade to do that. Which in theory makes sense, right? So that makes the blade less deadly, or less makes people less prone to being injured by a pocket knife. So I understand that idea behind these not having... Sorry. Oh man. Indigestion. These not having lockouts. So I understand that. I understand that's how the UK works as far as pocket knives. I don't know all the rules for, like, I don't know the general, like, knife legislation, the knife laws there. I'm not pretending to know. I'm just aware of the non-lockout pocket knife, and the blade has to be shorter than 3 inches. I'm aware of those two. So if anybody's watching this from the UK, please feel free to elaborate and explain more to me. But I just don't understand, aside from what I just theory crafted, right? I can understand how that would keep somebody from being injured or harmed in a stabbing. But realistically, if you have a knife like this, and you know that by pressing it against a hard surface is going to depress the blade in, right? Wouldn't that also cause you to then think about only slashing with the blade? I mean, because, you know, these blades are sharp, right? You can slash through fabric. That's really not that hard. Granted, yes, at the same time, in a frenzy of slashing, you could inadvertently hit the top of the blade on something and still close the blade on yourself. So the attacker could, you know, close the blade on themselves and obviously cause injury to themselves. But I understand the purpose of why Kizer made this, to appease, you know, laws in another country, so people of that country would have a pocket knife that's accessible to them. But I feel like they should have made another variant of this that was like a button lock, because this would have been really cool as a button lock. Even a top liner lock. I mean, you already have the liner there, right? You could have just moved it up a little bit and then just done a top liner lock, button lock. Like, I don't see why not, right? All the internals are engineered already, so all you would have to do is do a button cutout and adjust the tolerances a little bit, and boom, there you go. So that's kind of my issue with this knife, is the fact that it's to me, it's a novelty piece, because I would never feel safe using this in a physical application, like opening boxes, packages, that kind of thing. Knives that don't lock out, to me, just aren't safe, just due to inadvertently hitting the blade on something and knocking it out of lock. Obviously, I'm not that clumsy, but you know, you never know. Like, and anything can happen, right? Things move, people move. You know, sometimes you're in enclosed spaces. Sometimes the enclosed spaces slip your mind while you're in the middle of doing a task. Sometimes you forget that, you know, some things move, like boxes, the lids to boxes move and flap open. And if you're, you know, trying to cut down a box and the flap of a box is like this, it won't take a lot of pressure to close this if you're swinging this knife trying to hack down a thick cardboard box or something. yeah, I'm sure I might get some kind of, I don't know, backlash or something about something negative about this, but I think, at least to me personally, this is just my opinion, so take that for how you choose. This is more of a novelty item than it is something that I would ever use. Which sucks because it is a really cool design. I love the scales. I love the blade shape, but I don't know. I just wouldn't feel comfortable using something like this as like an everyday item, especially without a lockout. Just a sharp item without a lockout is just, I don't know. It's it's like a handgun without a safety. It's just like always. It's like a Sig P22. It's like a Sig P326. I mean, it could go off at any time. You never know when. I'm not. I don't carry I don't carry a firearm. I'm just aware of the meme. But yeah, that's sort of my stance or my perspective on this knife. It's really cool. It's well designed. It's interesting engineering, but I genuinely do not feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable using this. So yeah, it's a novelty item. Obviously, it's the people who are in other countries who have a passion for knives and collecting knives, whatever. You have to abide by limitations and obviously law of those countries, so you don't always get an option, but this just doesn't feel safe. Honestly. So yeah, that's kind of the purpose of the video, is just to kind of point that out, open dialogue about it. I'm curious on what people in the UK think about it, or people in countries who can't have knives that lock, that have a permanent lockout, like a normal folding knife that has a frame lock or a liner lock or a button lock, a traditional lockout, or even a back lock, triad lock, etc. I'm curious on how you feel about your country having that in place and what your thoughts are, your safety, that kind of thing. I'm also curious on what people in America think about this. Do you guys feel comfortable using knives like this? Do you guys feel comfortable buying knives without a traditional lockout? I personally, I didn't realize that this knife didn't have a traditional lockout when I bought it for inventory. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Overall, cool knife. Nice blade material, really nice build quality. It is quality. It's very, very sharp. I cut myself on it. Very nice packaging. Yeah, it's just not my thing personally. So yeah. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me, like I said, I want to open the dialogue for it, and I'm curious on what your opinions are, what your perspective is. If you think it's silly, if you think I'm silly, if you understand it, whatever. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy holidays. Be safe, stay hydrated, eat some good food, and as always, be kind to each other. Okay? Later, dudes.